But today I'm here to announce changes to the ministry, which I propose to recommend to the Governor-General. The decisions that I've made reflect a very strong focus on stability in key portfolios, together with a commitment to bring forward some new talent as Australia continues its comeback from the COVID-19 pandemic. In a time of great uncertainty, stability and consistency is very much what is needed. And what I'm announcing today, I think, very much continues that thread of what has been a constant in Australia over the course of this year. In a time of uncertainty, I think Australians have been able to look to their governments, plural, and see the stability and certainty and constancy that are necessary for them as they navigate their own pathway through what has been a very challenging year. Key portfolios geared to Australia's prosperity and security, they remain unchanged. Treasury, finance, employment, skills, small and family business, foreign affairs, defence, home affairs, all key portfolios remaining unchanged. There are no changes to the nationals in the ministry, and associated policy responsibilities also remain unchanged under the leadership of the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Infrastructure, Transport and Regional Development, Mr McCormack. The ministry also maintains its record representation of women in Cabinet. Following the appointment of Simon Birmingham as Minister for Finance, taking over from Australia's longest-serving Finance Minister, Mathias Cormann, in October, the Honourable Dan Tehan will be taking on the job as our new Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment. Dan brings incredibly strong credentials to this role as a former officer in the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, as well as a keen sense of the particular interests of regional and rural Australia in open, rules-based trading systems. The aged care portfolio will be elevated into Cabinet, with Greg Hunt as Health Minister taking on the additional responsibilities of aged care for the government's response in particular to the Aged Care Royal Commission that will be handed down next year, and the response that will be brought together as part of next year's budget. The Honourable Richard Colbeck, Senator from Tasmania, will retain responsibility for aged care services, and that includes the delivery of the residential and home care packages, the aged care sector regulation, as well as retaining his responsibilities for senior Australians, and as Minister for Sport. And I thank Richard for the great work he's been doing in what has been a very difficult year in this portfolio. Richard will continue to play a very important role in the response that the government brings together in response to the Royal Commission, and being able to maintain the continuity and the corporate knowledge that has been built up during a very challenging time, I think will be incredibly important for the government, myself and Minister Hunt, as we bring that response to the Royal Commission and the broader strategies of reform together next year. The Cabinet will remain where it currently is now at 22 members, and so there is a realignment of other portfolios to take account of the departure of Mathias Cormann and the appointment of Dan Tehan as Trade Minister. The Education and what will become the Education and Youth portfolio, that will be assigned to Alan Tudge, with a clear brief of improving education outcomes and in particular helping younger Australians navigate challenges in a rapidly changing world. He will be supported by an Assistant Minister for Youth and also Employment Services, supporting Minister Cash, and that will be taken up by Luke Howarth, who will take on that role from Queensland. Paul Fletcher will take on broader responsibilities in addition to communications and the arts. He will also take back on the roles of urban infrastructure and cities, all of which together sit within the Infrastructure Department. The Honourable David Coleman will be returning both to the Parliament and to the Executive, and as a clear indication of what is a very significant priority for me, he will be taking on the role of Assistant Minister to me as Prime Minister for mental health and suicide prevention. This is a critical focus of the government. As you know, we have appointed a National Suicide Prevention Advisor. to the government and to me as Prime Minister, and integrating that with the broader reforms that we're continuing to make in the mental health area. This has been highlighted as recently again as last Friday at the Federation Reform Council and the meeting of the National Cabinet. This will be a key area of collaboration, federation reform, to deal with the many challenges that exist within mental health and suicide prevention. He joins me as an Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister because dealing with these issues is just not a challenge of the mental health portfolio within health. It is a broader whole of government, and I'd say whole of government's challenge in dealing with mental health and suicide prevention.